Hi everyone, it's Mao from Sparkly Belly. Do you love beaded fringe on your belly dance outfits? In this tutorial, I'll show you how to make beaded fringe in two ways. To make beaded fringe, you need these materials. You can find the list in description. But let me show you what I'm using as the base of the fringe. You can sew fringe directly to your garment, or you can sew it onto a matching color thin rope, bias tape, or ribbon, then attach that onto your garment. A nice thing about attaching the fringe to a tape is that you can remove the fringe and attach it onto something else in the future very easily. So today I'll be using this ribbon. The first way is what I call the Egyptian fringe because this is a technique used for the pre-made fringe I ordered from Egypt. First, double thread your needle and make a knot at the end. I'm using a thin, regular hand sewing needle here. Take the needle and bring it out onto the bottom of the tape. Then load up the thread with as many seed beads as you like. Now here's a quick tip. Put your beads in a small tray or a bowl and run the needle tip through the beads over and over, and you can pick up the seed beads quite easily. Once you reach your desired length, pass the needle through the very last seed bead for the second time and through the loop of the thread. Then at this point, gently tag on the thread to see if there's a little wiggle room for the beads to move, and there should be a millimeter or so of thread between the tape and the first bead. This allows the strung beads to hang softly and creates a soft, flowy fringe instead of a tight, rigid fringe. You can still move this last bead at this point if you need to adjust the wiggle room. Finally, make a knot and use your fingertip to make it as close to the last seed bead as possible. Snip the excess thread, leaving a couple millimeters of thread. And this strand is complete. Now you can use this method to save time making the beaded fringe. So you make the first strand, then without cutting the thread, tie another knot about 1 centimeter away from the first knot and reverse the process. So take one bead, go through it again and through the loop. Then pick up the rest of the seed beads and take your needle through the bottom of the tape out on the wrong side. Make a knot and move a couple millimeters or so and pass the needle through to the bottom of the tape again. Then just make another strand just as we did earlier. And continue until you run out of thread. This way you don't have to put the needle down and pick up scissors after every strand. Finally, cut the connecting thread between the two knots. Now here's a little different version of this technique. This technique can be time-saving, but I personally want to make sure my fringe doesn't fall apart. So after I tie a knot at the end of the strand, I like to pass the needle through several beads again and then trim the thread. This way, this strand is less likely to fall apart. Now here's another way of making bead fringe. First, single thread your needle. For this technique, I'm using a beading needle because it's got a bigger needle eye. Take one seed bead. Then take the loose end of the thread and thread it through your needle so both ends of the thread are coming out on the other side of the needle eye. Then pick up the rest of your seed beads. Once it's your desired length, pass the needle through the tape out on the wrong side. Make sure the beads have a little wiggle room, then stitch a few times here just to be sure, and make a good knot. And this strand is complete. This technique is great if you want to add a sequin or a teardrop shaped bead or a charm at the end of the strand. But if you want to add a simple large bead at the end of a strand, then take a seed bead first, double up the thread, then add the large bead like this. Then add more seed beads. I'm using the second technique here, but in this case, you can use either one of the two techniques to make your fringe. Once you finish beading, you can attach the fringe tape to your garment. Here, I covered the rope with more beads, but you can layer more fringe on top or cover the rope with appliques or other type of decorative items. Now put on a show to listen to and keep threading your beads and create a beautiful bead fringe. And if you want to master more beading techniques and elevate your belly dance costume decoration to a new level, check out my applique making for belly dance costumes course. You can learn 11 more beading techniques and craft your very own sparkly appliques to add to your next outfit. Link in the description below. And next week, I'll share with you another fringe tutorial, and that's this fabric fringe. If you're curious about how to make this super trendy look, subscribe to my channel and stay tuned. Hope you liked this beaded fringe tutorial, and if you did, please subscribe to my channel and share this tutorial with your dancer friends. Thanks for watching and keep sparkling!